I'm Jason LeValley with Psychedelic Scene, and I'm here today interviewing Jim McCarty, best known as the drummer for the Yardbirds. Thanks for being here today.
Pleasure. Nice to be asked on. Yeah.
So you just released your second memoir, which is called She Walks in Beauty.
Yes.
Why did you decide to write a second memoir?
Well, I was sort of propelled to do it because my wife passed on last year, and it was a bit of a shock. And I decided I wanted to find out what had happened to her. So, we'd been very close, and I did various research and looking into near-death experiences and looking at YouTube TED lectures and all that stuff about all that subject. And then I discovered a medium, Suzanne Giesman, who's an American medium, and she had a Zoom course, and I decided to sign on and find out how you did it. So she taught me various ways of linking up and connecting with Elizabeth, my wife, and I followed all that stuff and actually managed to get somewhere. So I was quite pleased.
So you connected with your wife in the afterlife? Yes,
exactly. I followed all the instructions, and Suzanne always stressed, Suzanne the medium always stressed that you should have some hard evidence, something that you wouldn't know, something that my wife would tell me that I wouldn't know about somebody or other, or about something or other, or tell me something was going to happen, and a lot of those things came true. So I had good evidence which suggested I wasn't making it up.
Right.
So I was really convinced that it was her, and convinced really that she was still present in some way, and that her consciousness was still carrying on, even though she was, her body had died and everything. So I believe really that we all do carry on, and after we die, and we're all present somewhere or other in our consciousnesses.
Did she tell you anything about the afterlife?
She just said it was very, 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 very beautiful, and she said a very loving place. She said all positive things about it. It seems like it's not a place where you get judged, or you have hellfire and all that stuff that we're led to believe, as we grow up. It seems to be a very nice place to be. Probably quite a relief from this world at the moment.
Yeah, I can imagine. So the memoir revolves around your contact with your wife.
Yeah, that's what started it, because it was really in my face, and I felt I needed to do something about it. And she came through another medium and suggested I wrote a blog about it all. And I thought, well, I'll write a book. I'll do another book, and I'll go back to when I was younger and in the band, and how my interest has always been in these sort of things, and songs that I'd written, that were covered those sort of things, like Happenings 10 Years Time Ago, which was about one of our hits that was about reincarnation. It was seen as a big psychedelic record, probably one of the first psychedelic records, in all these collectors lists.
Right.
So it dates back quite a long way, our interest in all that stuff. And I called up Dave Thompson, that wrote the other book, who was a rock writer, and I didn't think he was going to be interested at all, but he loved the idea of doing that. So we got on with it, and it came out really nicely.
Well, great. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the psychedelic stuff that your band did. For you, the Yardbirds started out as a blues rock band, and kind of morphed into a psychedelic band, especially with Roger the engineer. But you had some very early songs, like from 1965, I think, that came out that could definitely be considered psychedelic, like "Shapes of Things." I think is a song that you co-wrote. It became a hit, and it's often cited as maybe the first psychedelic rock song.
Yes. Well, it was a lot to do with, well, it was us as well, but a lot to do with Jeff Beck, because he loved sort of wild guitar, and he loved all those mad sounds he got, and all the fuzz boxes and the feedback, and he was very interested in a wide range of guitar sound. And we liked it as well, because we were trying to make our what had been formerly a blues cover sort of program. We wanted to change that and make that a bit more individual, a bit more original, and something of our own, I guess, and have a bit of fun at the same time doing it. And that became, I think, what people remember as the Yardbird sound. When they say the psychedelic sound of the Yardbirds, that was it. And it was very much that lineup with Jeff Beck and Keith Relf and Paul Samuel Smith and me and Chris Dreyer.
Right. So when Eric Clapton was in the band, I read that he wasn't happy with the direction that the Yardbirds were going, and that's why he quit.
Yes, that's right. He was a very sort of very keen blues guy. He
Right.
was very devoted, really. He was devoted to blues music, and we did try and do a few bluesy recordings, but they were never really that commercial, and they didn't really work in the studio for us either.
So Jeff Beck was in the band at the same time as Eric Clapton?
No, Eric left, and then Jeff joined, and Jeff was recommended by Jimmy Page, because we wanted Jimmy originally to join the band, and Jimmy was very busy doing recording sessions, and didn't want to be in the band, so we recommended Jeff.
Who in the band was driving the change in a more psychedelic direction?
Well, it was a combined force, really. It was a team. It was a team effort. Paul Samuel Smith, the bass player, he was particularly good with ideas, especially all those build-ups. Those bass and drum build-ups to crescendos and all that. And then Jeff with his sound. I mean, Jeff was probably the main contributor, because he had all those fantastic sounds and always played a great solo, like he did on Shapes of Things.
Right. Well, if he wasn't in the band at the same time as Eric Clapton, then why did Eric Clapton quit? Because of the new direction. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't quite know.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're saying that, that the Clapton quit because he didn't like the new direction, but it was Jeff Beck that was really the main driver of the new direction.
Well, yes, but I think there were other things anyway with Eric. You know, it's a bit political as well.
I see.
He didn't quite see eye to eye with some of the guys, and he wasn't really a band person, I don't think. You know, he was always going to be a solo guy, calling all the shots.
I see.
Although he did join John Mayall, so you know, he had to do what John said, I guess. But yeah, he became quite difficult to work with because he you know, he wanted to have his own ideas, and he didn't quite see eye to eye with everyone else.
Yeah. Were you and other members of the band taking LSD and other hallucinogenic drugs during the time?
Well, no, we never really did. I took it just one time, which was a bit of a disaster for me. But no, we maybe smoked a bit of pot. That was about it. And it was quite funny, you know, playing all this crazy music and all these people showing up for gigs thinking we were all out of our minds, you know.
Right.
Because they were out of their mind. But we were just having fun with the sound. It was just us. It was our thing, you know. It was enjoyable, and we like to mess around with it and change the tempos and do all these funny sounds and everything.
Sure. Yeah, it is ironic though that, you know, you were known as a psychedelic band, but you really weren't necessarily inspired by psychedelic drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I know that Little Games wasn't particularly well received at the time. Was that the main factor for the breakup of the Yardbirds?
Well, no, it's a combination, really. Yeah, I don't think Little Games was that bad. I think it was all the singles that we had to do because we signed up with Mickey Most, and we were trying to have another hit record, you know. And we didn't have that same lineup. We didn't have Jeff and Paul in the band, so we weren't quite as creative as we had been before. And I think it was Jimmy Page that said, "Oh, we should go to Mickey because Mickey will produce a hit for us," and that was what you needed in those days. You needed another hit record. But of course, that was a big mistake.
Yeah, Mickey Most I associate with more bubblegum pop.
Well, that's right. He wasn't right at all. I mean, although he did that Sunshine Superman,
Right.
You know, Season of the Witch with Donovan.
Uh-huh.
You know, that was a pretty good album, but he wasn't really. I don't know that he was even there at the time, you know, when they did it.
Uh-huh.
But he had a routine where he had, you know, he did the backing track in the morning and put the vocals and the solos on in the afternoon, and then mix it like in the evening. That would be it.
Yeah.
And he did some quite good hits like that. You know, the House of the Rising Sun was recorded like that. Quite incredible.
Yeah. So it seems like there may have been a downside to having these three virtuoso guitar players in the band. Do you ever feel like maybe they got too much credit and that the rest of the band members were overlooked?
Well, I don't know really. I'm not really worried about that so much. I remember at the time, you know, each time the people came in, Jeff, Jimmy, or Eric, or whoever, it was always a team, and we were just we were all working together. I mean, there was no there was no one better than anyone else. We were all a band.
Mm-hmm.
they became famous really for what they did on the guitar. You know, it was always a big, the sort of music we did was always a good platform for guitar. There was a lot of space for guitar solo and all that, particularly in blues music, you know, blues riffs and things. And guitar was always a very popular thing, you know, in those days. Guitarists were popular.
Sure. Yeah, but so are singers. And it surprises me how little known Keith Relf is, considering that he was the singer of one of these, you know, major British invasion bands.
Yeah, I know. It's funny, isn't it? Well, probably because he wasn't, I don't know, he wasn't trying to sell himself in any way. He was just in for the music, you know. He wasn't doing a Mick Jagger, you know. He wasn't thinking of, oh, what can I do to be the front man sort of thing. He just did his thing, and that was it, you know. And he struggled really because he didn't have good health. He only had one lung, and he was playing harmonica and all that.
Oh, he only had one lung?
Yes, he lost the lung early on, but
Oh, I didn't know that.
in '63, yeah. So he was quite a weak constitution guy.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good presence, I thought, about him, and he always took it very seriously doing a show. You know, it was always we're gonna do a great show. I'm gonna go for it, you know.
So after the Yardbirds broke up, you and Keith Relf started Renaissance.
Yeah.
Which was more of a folk band, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
And then I think you both left after one album. Is that correct?
We did a couple of albums, and then it did. I don't know. It wasn't really going the way we wanted. I don't remember exactly why, but we didn't. I don't know. We sort of got back onto the road again, and we got a bit fed up with that, you know. We didn't want to go back there straight away.
Right.
So it was a bit of a shame, really. But we tried to keep in touch with the band, and I did write a few songs for the new band as they developed. And I recently did the reunion gig they did a couple of years ago in Philadelphia. They did a 50th reunion with an orchestra, and they filmed it, and I did a couple of songs with them, which was nice.
Great. When you tour with the Yardbirds now, I know you play the drums. Do you also sing lead vocals on any of the songs?
Yeah, a couple of them. Yeah, I like to sing a couple of songs. Yeah, we do a song from the Box of Frogs.
Okay.
I sing that one, and that goes down pretty well. And maybe I do a blues or something. You know, I like to sing now and then.
Yeah, right. You've released about 4 solo albums, I think. Yes. Including one called Frontman.
Yes.
When did you realize that you wanted to front your own band?
When it was the Frontman was a little bit tongue in cheek, you know, I think. But yes, I did actually go to the front when we had Illusion. And Illusion was formed out of the people that were in the original Renaissance band, and Keith actually died while we were getting it together. You know, had that accident where he was electrocuted.
Right.
So I carried on. Well, we all carried on, and we got a couple of other people in. And I thought, well, I'll sing. I'll sing with Jane Relf, his sister, and so that was a little bit odd, but I quite enjoyed that. Singing along, you know, being a front man with her, it sort of worked quite well.
Cool. Do you keep in touch with anybody from the classic '60s lineup of the Yardbirds?
Yeah, yeah. Mainly Paul Samuel Smith, I think, because we were the bass player. We were at school together. You know, when we were about 16, we were at school together, and we used to sing Every Brothers songs and all that. We were in the school group and all that stuff. And Jimmy Page, I keep in touch with mainly. He's the main one out of all the guitar players, I think.
Mhm.
We talk now and then. And Chris Dreyer, he's not so well at the moment, so I don't know how he is. He had some strokes, so he's not healthy enough to play.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're all quite friendly.
That's great.
Weddings and funerals.
Yeah, I suppose it gets to that point.
Yes, yeah, but it's yeah, we're all mates together.
Well, great. Well, Jim, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to do this interview. I really appreciate it.
That's all right, Jason. My pleasure.
Okay, well, you take care. And I should mention again that the new memoir, She Walks in Beauty, it's out already?
Yes, it's out now. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye-bye.
Take care. Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.